Alright, so here it is. The last action figure to come out of Wave 1, Voyager class Optimus Prime of the Transformers The Last Night action figure series under the subline Premier Edition. But before we take a look at the action figure at hand, let's put him aside for a moment. And let's bring in the packaging as partake of every single video review. Let's go through it real quickly. So basically, it is your generic packaging for the Premier Edition action figures. That'd be Deluxe, Voyagers, maybe even Leaders eventually. I don't know. Anyway, so here we got Optimus Prime. We got Transformers The Last Night, Hasbro, ages 8 and up, Transformers, Premier Edition right here. Can never get this perfectly on the screen. And on the side here, we got Voyager class, the Autobot logo. Onto the other side, we got a very cool picture of Optimus Prime wielding his sword, or just standing there posing with the sword. So there's that, and Autobot logo right down there. Right up here, we got Optimus Prime. We got a brief summary for him, and I mean very brief. It's Earth's greatest protector, and that's it. On to the back of the packaging, and here we got the computer form of this action figure in his robot mode, his vehicle mode, and then also available Voyager Grimlock, which I previously reviewed. And down here, we still got a promotion going on for the Western Star Truck Company, which is what this figure is based off of. So that's going to do it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and bring back in Optimus Prime now. And let's just take one little moment away from the action figure still, so we can take a look at his instructions, as I've been doing. But I failed miserably at in a couple of videos, and I had to make up for it. So anyway, it's basically everything that come expected. You got your gray color with some highlights of red, showing off what's transforming here and there, all this moving around, all that stuff. Nothing much else to really say about that. It goes on to the second page here. Just to complete the truck mode, to go back to robot mode, you would have to go backwards with the instructions. There's also some hints of weapon storage, and there's also the giveaway that his sword does have a sheath in robot mode. And then here's Grimlock promoting the only other figure on Voyager size to come out of this line so far, and that's going to do it for the instruction. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the truck mode itself, and this is pretty freaking sweet. It totally makes up for the fact that we never really got a Western Star truck of Optimus Prime in the last toy line based off of the previous movie Age of Extinction. This totally makes up for it. Now, having said that, I am aware that there was a Japanese release of this said truck, and it was quite a hideous mess, and you know, all purposes being served, I gotta say that this totally makes up for it, and this was in the hands of Hasbro, and they did a phenomenal job. Now, with that said, I do have one minor complaint about this mode here, and it's got nothing really to do with the body of the truck or anything going on back here. It's just the fact that Hasbro is still on that streak of not painting the hubcaps to the tires, which is unfortunate. This would really make Optimus Prime pop in this mode here if they would just take that little attention to detail and go with it. I mean, stop playing cheap here. It's been a long time since Hasbro's actually painted any of the wheels on Transformer figures that it's really getting to the point where they just feel like it's absolutely pointless. I mean, I complain about the wrist articulation being lackluster on a bunch of Transformer figures these days, but this is just, it's worse, far worse. I wish they would start painting the tires again and stop forcing me to have to do everything for you, Hasbro. So anyway, with that said, the wheels do work pretty nice, as long as they are oriented perfectly on the ground. If you got one little bit of the transformation incomplete, then that's going to cause a little bit of a disturbance down below. As you will notice, some of the wheels will not move at all. Be forewarned here, I'm just going ahead and going to tell you guys that I had to trim down one of these wheels because there was extra flash on it that would not allow it to rotate a complete 360, which was unfortunate. But hey, it was just a little thing that I took care of myself with an X-Acto knife, and I was, you know, I'm pretty impressed with my work. So yeah, all the wheels work just fine now. There's really not much else to say about this mode. I mean, you've got your colors, your nice metallic blue, which I do appreciate. Does have a bit of a swirl there that gives me quite a scare in the future, but whatever. Got silver paint here for this portion, silver paint for the grille, silver paint for the headlights, which is weird, but okay. The bumper, it's got a mix of the metallic blue painted over with silver. We got a very small little Autobot symbol that's not going to pick up. Well, actually it did, but that's as far as it's going to go into focus. And then, of course, we got the painted red flames and some silver piping. And that's basically it. I mean, it's your Optimus Prime colors, to tell you the truth. And he does have weapon storage. Here's his shield, which actually can be pegged in like so. And if you're not careful, like I failed to do here, you can see that you can detach the transformation a little bit into the back of the truck. So there's that. So we also got storage here for his sword, which is, it's a little tedious to get it to actually slide in there the first time, but after a while you get used to it, and it holds in there pretty secure. It doesn't cause any hindrance in the rolling. As you can see, he still rolls just fine. It's not touching the ground. So there you got that. So let's go ahead and transform this guy, because to tell you the truth, I really don't have anything to compare him with. Alright, let me go find something. So let's bring back in Barricade from the first premium edition line based in the 2007 Transformer action figures, and there you see he's pretty small, but to tell you the truth, it's not really the size that counts, it's how you use it. So anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and do this. There you have it. There's Optimus Prime in his robot mode, and he looks good. As a matter of fact, to tell you the truth, when this figure was first being promoted, I really thought all this silver here on his chest, on his legs, on his arms, I thought all this was actually chrome. And I was kind of scared because, you know, chrome is nice to look at, but it really chips very easily. But no, this is some really high gloss silver paint that they are using, which, you know, for a premier action figure, you know, premium, this is some nice paint that they should be using. And I really do appreciate the attention to detail on this, especially with all the engineering that's going on with the detail of the figure himself. He looks really good. I mean, this is probably the best Voyager Optimus Prime action figure that I've ever owned. The only other one being outside of this Optimus Prime is just the RoboVision Optimus Prime that I reviewed so long ago. One of my very first video reviews on YouTube, to tell you the truth. And it really wasn't that fun, to tell you the truth as well. But, you know, over time you improve, you get better on things, you know how things work, and you get straight to the point. And I just really want to get straight to the point with this figure and say he's pretty cool. I know some people have been bashing on him for quality control. I will tell you guys, I did have to tighten up his arm here on the left side, because in robot mode, this arm was very loose. And there's really no way you can get in there and tighten it up, because as you can see, they're not using screws anymore. It's all about pin joints these days. So I had to take a little bit of some super glue and just drop a few dabs in there and just wiggle it around for a good 10 minutes or so to keep it from sticking to the joint. Outside of that story, I gotta say, for a very cool action figure as he is, there really isn't much to go about with him. I mean, it is your standard Optimus Prime from Age of Extinction and now the last night. There really isn't much of a change, except that, hey, we now got a legit Voyager scale action figure that doesn't look hideous from the back. And speaking of the back, I know people are complaining about the backpack here, but look at this. That's pretty streamlined. I like that. It's very flat, it's not bulky, it doesn't stick out too far, and it just works. Yeah, sure, maybe this could have used a little bit of some panel work here, but I think, wow, I was about to say Bandai. I think Hasbro has gone as far as they could with the budget that they had on this action figure, and I do not feel disappointed at all with this one. And I really like that metallic blue that they're using here for his collarbones and his chest panels and the arms as well. That really, just look at that shimmer effect. Wow, it's mesmerizing. I love it. So he's a really cool action figure, but he really could have used a little bit more silver on his helmet, but whatever, it is what it is. Worst case scenario, I can paint it myself, but again, why should I have to? Anyway, let's go ahead and get to his articulation now, because he's loaded with it. He's got a ball-jointed head, and yeah, it's a ball-jointed head, and it also gives a little bit of a very bobbly feel to it. That's kind of loose. I'm gonna have to fix that up now. So anyway, we do have universal shoulders, and we do get some nice up and down movement, but there is hindrance because of the back panels here, which is obviously a good portion of the front of the truck itself. You do have a hinge joint like a butterfly effect due to transformation, but that's just this transforming the figure himself. We do have a bicep rotation. We got single jointed elbows that goes to 90 degrees. No wrist swivel, which is a bit of a letdown, but hey, again, it's something that the Transformer figures are missing these days anyway. We do have waist rotation with no hindrance whatsoever, no panels having to be moved out of the way to get this. It works just fine. Got a hinge joint here for his front skirt piece, which, you know, is just to get the movement of the legs. So there you got your universal joint for it going up that much. Got enough for going back as well. We do have a bunch of inward and outward movement, but due to his side skirt pieces, which aren't even painted, you really can't get a complete JCVD going on here, which, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's still pretty good. It's one of the better articulated leg joints from a Transformer figure I've seen. So we do have a 5 swivel cut. We do have single jointed knees, but due to transformation and all this going on back here, the kibble just gets in the way. You're not really going to get 90 degrees out of it. That's about as much as you get of a knee bend, which, you know, it's still pretty good, but it is going to hinder a little bit of some posability that you can get out of the legs. And speaking of which, that's it. There's nothing else here. There's nothing at the feet due to transformation because of the way these tab in. There's no hinge joint for up and down movement, no ankle rocker pivot, none of that good stuff. But still, it's a really nice Optimus Prime figure, and, you know, to tell you the truth, he's not supposed to be posing anyway. He's supposed to be looking menacing to all of his foes, basically Megatron and the Decepticons. So here is his nice sword that he had in the last movie, which is inaccurate to the color scheme of it, which I don't know why Hasbro went with this color, but I guess it's to make it pop. It's a nice attention grabber for the kids, and it can slide in his hand just fine, and he wields it just fine. It doesn't seem loose or anything like that, and there we go. And for his shield, there's really nothing that you can do with it. You can tab it in his hand if you want, make it like a blaster, but that's not the purpose of it. He's got a hole right here on the forearm on the left side, and you can tab the shield in like so. And now he's got his shield, he's got his sword, and I know some people have complained that the shield is pretty small on this guy, but for the size, for the budget, and for the price that I had to pay for it, I'm not disappointed at all. I think this is a really cool Optimus Prime action figure. And before I even forget, which I did in the first take of this, I'm going to go ahead and show you that he does in fact have a sheath in the back, molded right there. You can slide the sword in, and there you go. Now he's got weapon storage, which is pretty cool. I was not expecting that when the figure was first revealed. I did not notice that at all. This is a very nice touch. This is a really cool Optimus Prime. Let's go ahead and do some side-by-side comparisons to wrap up this video. So here is Optimus Prime compared to Voyager Grimlock as I hit the camera and knock it out of placement. So there you got that. Let's bring in his little friend Bumblebee here, who took a bad fall yesterday, but he's okay now. There's also Barricade, who is my favorite Decepticon of the Movieverse toy line. And just because, here is, you know, Slash, which is an okay figure, could have been so much more. And I've really got nowhere to bring this guy in, so I'm just going to put him in the back. He'll probably fall over anyway. Decepticon Berserker. And there's the group. There's family of Wave 1 of the Transformers The Last Night action figures. A really cool line with a bunch of repainted action figures from the last movie. And for the new figures, they are very sweet. And I do recommend that you pick them up. Optimus Prime, Barricade, heck, Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a really cool figure that needs some love and maybe a little bit of some paint application. I might touch him up, I might not. You know, tell you the truth, Berserker's a cool figure. Grimlock is awesome. And again, the real letdown of this line was Slash, for how small this action figure is and for how much I had to pay for him. It's quite an eyesore. But other than that, this is about Optimus Prime. And again, he's a really cool figure. He totally makes up for the lackluster of any Voyager Optimus Prime action figure outside of his evasion mode in the last movie toy line. So this is one that you don't want to miss out on, because I can really see this figure going up in price soon enough. Anyway, questions or comments, you know to do. Hit it down below in the comment section of this video. If you like today's video review, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see other video reviews similar to the one that you're seeing here today, with, surprise, more Transformers action figures on the way very shortly. Until then, this is your King Red is Power signing off, saying thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you whenever you see me.